Many of you asked for a detailed tutorial on this stitch, so here it is. For this pattern, I like to combine one thicker yarn and one thinner yarn. I'm using a 4mm crochet hook. This stitch also looks beautiful when worked with thicker yarns only. I've made a sample using the same yarn thickness in 3 colors. If you'd like a detailed tutorial on the 3-color version, let me know in the comments and I'll make one. Now let's get started. Start by making a slip knot, then chain any multiple of 4 plus 2 extra chains. The last chain will act as your turning chain. For this example, I'm chaining 20 stitches plus 2 additional chains. For row 1, skip the first chain from the hook and work 1 single crochet into the next chain. Continue placing 1 single crochet into each chain across. At the end of the row, you should have 21 single crochet. After completing the last single crochet, remove your hook from the loop. Reinsert your hook into that loop, then insert it under both loops of the last single crochet stitch. Now pick up your new yarn and pull it through all 3 loops on your hook. For row 2, start by working 1 single crochet under both loops of the first stitch, then chain 3. Skip the next 3 stitches and work 1 single crochet into the 4th stitch. Chain 3, skip 3 stitches and 1 single crochet into the next stitch. Continue repeating this pattern across the row. Now, chain 1 and turn your work. For this row, we'll be working single crochets across. Start with 1 single crochet in the first stitch, then work 3 single crochets into the chain free space from the previous row. Continue this pattern across the row. 1 single crochet in the next stitch, then 3 single crochets into the next chain free space. Repeat until you reach the end of the row. On this row, we're working only with a thicker yarn. First, work 1 single crochet into the back loop of the stitch from the previous row, the row that was worked with a thinner yarn. Next, work 3 half double crochets into the front loops of the row below, the row worked with a thicker yarn. When you do this, make sure to insert your hook behind the section that was crocheted with thinner yarn. Your hook should go underneath that top layer before pulling up the loop. This is what creates the layer effect. So, we're working into 2 different levels, the back loops of the top row and the front loops of the row beneath it. Repeat this sequence across the row. This is the most detailed part of the pattern. Once you understand this structure, the rest becomes much easier. Now chain 1. Before turning your work, this is what your piece should look like at this stage. We'll repeat the same structure as before, working single crochets across the row. Now we're going to switch back to the thinner yarn, using the same color change technique as before. Work 1 double crochet into the first stitch of the row that was previously worked with the thinner yarn. Make sure you insert your hook under both loops of the stitch. If you work into one loop, your stitch will look like this. That's why it's important to go under both loops. Now, chain 3, skip the next 3 stitches and work 1 double crochet into the 4th stitch. Repeat this pattern across the row. Now chain 1 and turn your work. You'll repeat the same single crochet row as before. Work 1 single crochet into the next stitch, then continue placing single crochets across the row. Repeat this until you reach the end of the row. Now we're going to change back to the thicker yarn. Chain 1 and turn your work. Work 1 single crochet into the back loop only of the first stitch. Before working the half double crochets, make sure you skip the first loop of the thicker section. Then work 3 half double crochets into the front loops only of the thicker yarn section. One single crochet into the back loop only from the thinner yarn section. Repeat this pattern until you reach the end of the row. Now chain 1 and turn your work. Continue placing single crochets in the both loops until you reach the end. At the end of this row, we're going to change back to the thinner yarn. Chain 1 and turn your work. Work 1 double crochet into both loops of the stitch in the thinner yarn section. Chain 3, then skip the next 3 stitches and work 1 double crochet into the 4th stitch, inserting your hook under both loops of the last double crochet from the previous thin yarn row. Continue this pattern across the row. Chain 3, skip 3 stitches and double crochet into the 4th stitch. Repeat until you reach the end of the row. We'll continue working with the same yarn. Chain 1 and turn your work. Work 1 single crochet into the next stitch, inserting your hook under both loops. Then work 3 single crochets in the chain 3 space. Continue this pattern across the row. 1 single crochet in the stitch, 3 single crochets into the chain space until you reach the end. At the end of this row, we're going to change back to the thicker yarn. Chain 1 and turn your work. Work 1 single crochet into the back loop only of the first stitch in the thinner yarn section. Before working the half double crochets, make sure you skip the first loop of the thicker section. Then work 3 half double crochets into the front loops only of the thicker yarn section. Repeat this sequence across the row. For the final row of the sample, work single crochets across the entire row without changing yarn. So that's the full pattern. Usually I like to finish by working single crochets all around the piece to give it a cleaner, more polished edge. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.